Tonight on CTV News at 6, students are concerned.
Whether they're going to still be doing their classes, whether their deadlines are still up.
It's day 2 of the strike by faculty at Laurentian University. The province is expanding teaching clinics.
Throughout the country, there has been research on this. Folks who live and study in a place tend to stay there.
More medical students are coming to northern cities. And it's bitter out there.
They're freezing outside. That's what people are doing. They're getting frostbite.
The city of Timmins has issued a cold weather alert.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you decided to spend some time with us on this Tuesday, January 20th. Despite the cold temperatures, faculty at Laurentian University in Sudbury continued day 2 of their strike. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
On one of the coldest days so far this winter, striking faculty at Laurentian University continue their resolve for a fair agreement.
Our hearts are kept warm by the overwhelming support we're receiving. It's coming from everywhere.
Since the strike started yesterday, Carney says he's heard from other unions across the province, including faculty unions at other post-secondary schools. LUFA's priorities remain a secure pension, balanced workloads, and comparable compensation. A representative for Laurentian's administration says it recognizes the critical role faculty played during the school's financial troubles, as well as afterwards with helping rebuild the reputation. He says the wages it's proposing are normative for the sector.
We also have to be aware of making sure that we're also having a deal that's financially sustainable, so that we're not going to put ourselves in a situation where we essentially erase some of the gains that we've made in the past couple of years.
Both sides say they want to keep the labor dispute as short as possible to avoid any major impact to students' education. But at this time, there are no new dates scheduled to get back to the bargaining table.
We're inviting, the administration to come to the table, but so far they didn't signal their interest.
In the meantime, students are caught in the middle with their education on hold. The president of the Students' General Association says there's been about 100 inquiries about the strike, but most are short-term concerns.
Whether they're going to still be doing their classes, whether their deadlines are still up, whether they would have to be doing their assignments on time and being able to post them.
Meanwhile, LUFA is planning a large rally this Friday at the entrance to Laurentian, including support from other local unions and others coming in from other parts of the province. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Van Horn Construction Limited, the company contracted to build the JK to grade 12 school in Parry Sound, is pursuing legal action after the province terminated its contract to build the school. In a statement from the company's lawyer, Van Horn calls the decision unjustified and unfair, saying Van Horn met its contractual obligations and acted in good faith. We raised concerns early, the statement reads, and repeatedly about issues beyond the contractor's control, including permitting challenges, governance breakdowns, decision-making delays, and structural problems within the project's oversight and approval process. Van Horn also stating most of the construction was completed by the end of 2025 as required approvals had come through. The company claims it has not received payment from the Near North District School Board since September, despite continuing to work. Adding termination of the contract is just going to lead to more delays in student occupancy. We have reached out to the Ministry of Education for comment, but have not received a response. Provincial police executed a search warrant last night at a home in Elliott Lake as part of a drug trafficking investigation. Officers searched a home on Smith Avenue and stopped a car a short while later connected to the case. The search resulted in the seizure of a small amount of drugs, several illegal weapons, and cash. 4 people were charged. The group faces more than 30 trafficking and weapons-related charges. And charges have been laid after a crash yesterday that closed Highway 11 from Powassan to South River. Investigators determined a transport truck had jackknifed, blocking the southbound lanes. A second transport collided with the disabled vehicle. The highway was closed for about 4 hours. As a result, a 33-year-old driver from Orangeville has been charged with careless driving. Union leaders representing hospital workers in North Bay held a different kind of rally today. Decorating their vehicles with flags, signs and yellow neckties as a jab towards the Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli, the vehicles drove around the hospital in a show of support for burned-out healthcare workers. CUPE is expecting to know the final impact of the 40 job cuts in a couple of weeks. Last Friday, the province announced more than $10 million for the hospital, but that money will not be used to save jobs. The hospital's website indicates there are more than 100 jobs available, but the union president says healthcare workers have had enough of cutting budgets.
May be able to find other work, but the problem is Mr. Fideli's making it very hard for healthcare workers to want to stay in healthcare. The day the announcement was made for the 40 job cuts, I had 2 separate nurses come to me and 1 PSW and say, you know what, I'm just going to go out in the private sector. There's more job security there, and I make more money. We would like to see the hospital funded appropriately at the 6% annual increase that's required, not the 2% he told them to balance their budget on.
Fideli wrote a statement to CTV saying the Friday funding announcement will help the hospital plan and budget sustainably, strengthen stability, and protect access to core services in the Nipissing district. Sudbury and Nickel Belt's MPPs are asking the Minister of Health to stop the closure of LifeLab's laboratory in Sudbury. In an open letter to Minister Sylvia Jones, Franz Jelena and Jamie West raised concerns about delays to diagnoses for northern patients, saying thousands of people will be affected by this closure. With the nearest lab slated to be in Toronto, they add that shipping samples can result in them expiring and retesting, delaying primary care. LifeLabs is a privately owned company that works within the healthcare system. It is a frosty Tuesday. How low will the temperatures get? For your first check on weather, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Okay, Tony, not as bad as last night. I mean, I woke up this morning and I heard it was minus 45 in Timmins. Whoa. I apologize for that. That was nasty this morning, but it won't be as bad tomorrow morning because we've got a low pressure system moving in with precipitation. Our forecast radar systems map brought to you by Environment Canada, and of course CAA always pops in there as well. This is the precipitation that we'll wind up getting by tomorrow evening between 3 and 10, so varying amounts. We'll talk about that in the 5-day or the 7-day forecast, excuse me. Current temperatures, Tony, are even better than they were last night. So again, stick around for that and more coming up just a couple of minutes away.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. Support for seniors still to come on CTV News at 6. The city of Greater Sudbury is recognized. First, let's head to Sault Ste. Marie. This live webcam is from the International Bridge Administration. It's minus 22 degrees with the wind chill. We are back in a few minutes.
Fuel your Fridays with CTV and Pure Country. Enter online for a chance to win a $100 gas gift card. Fuel your Fridays. Powered by CAA. Life isn't one size fits all. Neither is CAA.
A lot of mayors from the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities were at the Rural Ontario Municipal Association conference this week, bringing key issues to the forefront.
We came at it with all barrels ablazing. And, you know, I don't think that a lot of our issues were unexpected issues. I think the government's very much aware of many of these issues that we lobby for, and we do it on a regular basis. But I think they very much recognize that Northern Ontario is the place where things are happening, and they want to see it work.
Phenom focused on 4 key priorities, including the modernization of Trans-Canada Highways 11 and 17, is calling for targeted amendments to Ontario's Mental Health Act, addressing cost concerns with policing, and advocating for the Northern Ontario Resource Development Support Program to become permanent. Greater Sudbury is being recognized for its support of seniors. The province officially named the city an age-friendly community at a conference in Toronto. And as CTV's Amanda Hicks tells us, while the award celebrates progress, some say the work is not done.
From hosting the provincial 55-plus summer games to the annual Healthy Aging Fair. Sudbury is making a name for itself as a hub for active aging. The city is one of only a few in Ontario to receive the age-friendly designation this year, which recognizes a commitment to accessibility and support for older adults.
We're continually trying to be better here in Sudbury because of the numbers of our older adults. We want to make sure that things are happening for them, because one of the worst things that we can do for our older adults is not have activities for them to do.
But beyond recreation, there are hard realities. Advocates point out that accessibility is only one piece of the puzzle.
One of the concerns of a lot of adults, and older adults especially, because many of them are on fixed incomes, and when you look at taxes that are more than double the rate of inflation, this can be a real concern, and you hear it from seniors all the time. You know, should we leave town? Should we go to other areas where taxes are less?
Last year, the city held 25 coffee chats as part of their age-friendly community initiative, hearing directly from more than 300 seniors.
Housing was one of the big concerns. Transportation was the other, especially in the outlying areas. You know, they were concerned about the transport. Not that the city doesn't have it, but we've met with the mayor and we've talked about the things that they're concerned about. So now they're looking at, okay, how can we help?
Knott says Free Transit Tuesday is helping to address some of the concerns. It was expanded from a summer program to a monthly service after seeing massive demand. And now 750 seniors a month are using it to stay connected. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Also coming out of the Rural Ontario Municipal Association Conference, funding for Bonfield. Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli announced more than $32,000 from the Rural Ontario Development Program. In a statement, Nancy Paquette, the mayor of Bonfield, says the grant will support economic growth and assessments to attract new business to the community. The city of Greater Sudbury has started to clear snow from downtown, and we also have an update on efforts to keep sidewalks clear. Here's CTV's Alan Everson.
Snow clearing has started in downtown Sudbury to increase lane widths and improve sight lines, narrowed and heightened by snowbanks.
We do that between the hours of midnight and 8 a.m. just to minimize the disruptions downtown. And it's a 2-week schedule.
Snow is also being cleared to improve access to parking spots and meters downtown,
which you can find on the city's website underneath the public notices and news section. There's a more detailed plan there of the downtown snow removal.
Greater Sudbury Safer Sidewalks is a grassroots group. Volunteers say they hope a pilot project for enhanced snow removal along sidewalks becomes permanent. At this point, it's uncertain, with it not being approved for next winter.
I'm hopeful. It would be a step backwards, I think, if we didn't continue with the improved service standards, and certainly it would contribute to our age-friendly reputation to continue it and make sidewalks more accessible in the wintertime and safe.
The city admits it does not have full coverage for sidewalk clearing on weekends when there is 8 centimeters of snow or more.
They try to schedule the staff early Monday morning to come in and have that ready for the Monday traffic, basically.
The city of Greater Sudbury confirms it clears over 350 kilometers of sidewalk. The city says when it comes to snowbanks, residents are responsible for sight lines around their properties. But if there are concerns at intersections, those can be reported to 311. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Tony, well, Alana had a lot of snow in her story, and we've got more snow to come in Greater Sudbury. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Okay, I'll let the cat out of the bag. 10 to 15 centimeters, maybe even more. Forecast radar, we've got the precipitation moving in, and this is what it's going to look like Wednesday through Thursday. We'll get to that stuff in just a couple of minutes. But first, your current temperatures. somewhat moderate compared to last night at the same time. Moosonee minus 31, all with the wind chill, of course, minus 28 Cochrane, minus 26 in Timmins, Kapuskasing minus 31, minus 23 in Chapleau, minus 20 in Wawa, minus 23 in the Sioux as well. Meanwhile, Parry Sound, we've got minus 18, some light snow going on this hour. In North Bay, minus 23, Temiskaming Shores, minus 22, Kirkland Lake, minus 22 as well. Sudbury Nickel Belt, a few clouds, minus 21, minus 20 in Espanola, minus 22 Elliott Lake, and minus 21 Gore Bay. Some light snow. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast and our pick of the day, Tony, all coming up.
Thanks, Rick. Mark Carney sent a strong message. Next on CTV News at 6. The Prime Minister spoke at the World Economic Forum this morning. What did he have to say? And sub-zero temperatures, the city of Timmins has issued a cold weather alert. There was a lot of chatter today over an image Donald Trump shared early this morning on social media showing Canada and Greenland draped in the American flag. CTV's Mike LeCouture has reaction tonight to yet another inflammatory provocation.
The original photo came from an August meeting between President Donald Trump and European leaders. It shows them in the Oval Office with a map of Ukraine and Russia in the background. A newly doctored version posted by Trump shows a different type of expansionism. The new map shows the stars and stripes painted over Greenland, Venezuela, and Canada.
He wants to be in control. He wants to manage. He wants to run the hemisphere and be a dictator.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Lloyd Axworthy believes Canada needs to push back.
I think it's about time we showed a little sort of what the hell is going on, Mr. Trump? Would you stop this nonsense? Because if he's not confronted, then he will feel emboldened to go ahead.
Now, the Globe and Mail is reporting hypothetical responses to a U.S. military invasion are being modeled by the Canadian Armed Forces. However, the Foreign Affairs Minister would only speak broadly about national defense.
To always ensure that the defense and protection of our country is first and foremost on top of our list of priorities.
CTV News requested a comment from the Canadian Armed Forces, but we did not get one. Now, Trump has mused about taking over Canada for more than a year, but one of his former advisors downplayed the seriousness of that particular post.
But just in an interview that he did a few hours ago, he didn't say anything about the United States taking over Canada, and in fact referred to Canada's interest also in the Arctic. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that from the Canadian perspective.
Kellyanne Shaw says Trump is having a little fun with that post, but for many in Canada, it's serious. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, at the World Economic Forum, Prime Minister Mark Carney getting a standing ovation during his speech today. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has the details from Switzerland.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
Closer to home now, with the wind chill falling to the -30s tonight in Timmins, the city has issued a cold weather alert. This winter has not been kind to residents, particularly to people who are homeless. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
A carved-out snowbank is a way some people in Timmins are seeking shelter from the cold.
They're freezing outside. That's what people are doing. They're getting frostbite. They're getting other cold-related injuries. People are almost dying. I think we're lucky that we haven't had any deaths so far this winter.
Sarita says while community members are doing what they can to drop off winter apparel at the Mutual Aid Centre, the city needs to do more to shelter people. Sarita says there are at least 100 people walking the streets at night because they don't have a place to sleep.
The city talks about how people should access the local emergency shelters, but we know that there's not enough beds. There's not enough space.
Sarita says arriving early doesn't guarantee a spot at the emergency shelters, leaving many asking how they will survive the cold nights.
There's no answer for people. And certainly, we've seen additional shelter spaces being made over at the old living space, at the Cedar location, but it's still not enough for the amount of people who need it.
I couldn't even get a bed last night. I had to basically warm up and leave. So, everyone's trying to find a spot, blankets, candles, stuff like that. It's kind of sad.
Officials add with not many options for people who are homeless to get to the hospital, they visit the Mutual Aid Centre for treatment.
We do have a good connection with the community nurse who is available in between her appointments. So for stuff like wound care, foot care, we do offer basic wound care supplies as well. Folks, in my experience, are quite good at covering their own wounds if we have the supplies available.
CTV News reached out to the city and to other organizations that assist unhoused individuals, but no one was available to speak with us before our deadline today. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Yes, Tony, we've got some warmer weather coming up, but we also have some precipitation in the form of snow beginning overnight and into tomorrow. Let's have a look at our forecast radar now. Of course, this system by about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock tomorrow will look something like this. So depending on your area, you will get snow, and of course continuing right through into Thursday as well. So let's take a look at what you can expect overnight in your area. Sudbury, of course, with the wind chill and the temperatures, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, and North Bay. Continuing into Moosonee as well. Take a look at some of the temperatures. Caphurst, Wawa, of course, with the snow, 2 to 4 centimeters, 5 to 10 centimeters in Gore Bay and Parry Sound, 15 to 25 centimeters tonight and overnight, -12 your temperature. Sudbury Nickel Belt, part of our 7-day forecast. Here we go. Tomorrow, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, -7. Chance of flurries on Thursday and Friday. Mainly sunny and colder on Saturday, -17, -14 sun and cloud Sunday. And of course, a chance of flurries come Monday at -14 degrees. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of flurries tomorrow, -8. It will warm up, but then it gets colder again Thursday and Friday. Flurries, chance of flurries, and again, the chance of flurries Saturday and Sunday at 60%, continuing into even Monday with a high of -12 and the chance of flurries. Timmins Cochrane Campus Casing, chance of flurries tomorrow, a high of only -11. Periods of snow Thursday, -17. Friday, sun and cloud. Saturday, sunshine. Sunday, sun and cloud. And again, the chance of flurries, but some of those temperatures at night, -29. -30 on Friday evening. A cold start to the weekend. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Snow in the forecast, 5 to 10 centimeters, -8 your high. Chance of flurries on Thursday, -13. And of course, Friday, -22 as it gets colder, then warms up slightly. Saturday and Sunday, even Monday, -19, -16, and -15. North Bay, West Nipissing. 2 to 4 centimeters of snow tomorrow, and again tomorrow evening, 2 to 4 centimeters. -6, -10 on Thursday. Friday, the chance of flurries at -20. Saturday and Sunday, -17 and -14. So you're going to get that upswing of temperature. It will warm up, and then all of a sudden it'll take a sharp turn and drop back down again. That's pretty well right across the Northeast. As you can see, the variation in temperatures, you go from -12 to -24 to -29, then back down again. So again, in terms of the moderation and the depth of the temperature, so get ready for some colder weather at times and some precipitation all coming up. Your pick of the day now. Let's have a look. Great shot here from Patricia LaRue. Feeding time, Whitefish Falls. Love that shot, and a couple of other youngsters. Feeding time, just looking around, doing their thing. So, NOSM, we know it. It is the Northern Ontario School of Medicine doing its part. It's being bolstered to help the people across Northeastern Ontario. Corey Nordstrom has that story coming up next.
I think one of the things that always struck me about Northern Ontario is its ability to be kind, caring, and compassionate. It's a region that looks out for its neighbors, and it's one of the reasons that drew me back here. It's also why I'm so grateful that people are willing to share with me their stories. Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. It's those stories that set our region apart from anywhere else in the country and what makes us so unique. I'm Ian Campbell. Join me weeknights for your CTV News for the North at 11:30.
The Sudbury Wolves of the OHL are advising fans that some people are still receiving fraudulent emails. Earlier this season, the Wolves organization issued a similar statement saying emails had been circulating, offering deals and asking for sensitive information. The club is reiterating that these emails are not coming from them. SWSE is advising fans who receive these emails to not click on the links or open attachments. Don't share sensitive information like credit card details or passwords, and don't send money via e-transfer, adding they don't ask for e-transfers for payment. We had done several stories on roofing scams last year, typically fraudulent companies going door to door in the spring, summer, and fall. But some questionable roofers are also knocking on doors this winter, and one family says they were almost scammed out of more than $30,000. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
It was just before New Year's Day in Mississauga when a roofer knocked on the door of Leslie Bentley's home.
I opened the door and he was saying that I see that you need your roof done, and you know, we're in the neighborhood and can we help?
Bentley says her shingles were getting older, so when the roofer said he could replace them, she agreed.
He told me that I needed to pay him $7,000 in cash.
The roofer said the home needed new shingles at a cost of $7,000, but once he got on top of the home, he said the roof was in terrible condition, and that's when the price jumped to $27,000. The roofer claimed Bentley's roof was in horrible shape.
It was rotten, that the wood was rotten, the struts that went down were rotten, and the whole thing needed to be replaced. I think I started to cry. I was really upset.
But before handing over any more money, Bentley called her daughter, Tracy.
I messaged back to my mom and say, do not give him any more money. I'm not sure these guys are legit.
Then Tracy's brother went up on the roof and confronted the roofers, asking to see the rotted wood, but there was no damage.
Which is not rotted. It was in fine condition. There was nothing wrong other than the fact the roof needed new shingles.
As soon as Tracy and her brother asked questions, the roofers took off in a hurry.
We look out the window, the roofers are gone, the van is gone. Everyone took off.
This security video shows the man that Bentley gave the money to. The name of the company is 24 Hours Roofing and Masonry. When CTV News called, we were hung up on twice, and our emails were not returned. Bentley had to hire another company to re-shingle her roof. She says while she regrets handing over $7,000, she's glad she wasn't scammed out of $27,000 and credits her children for helping her out.
I'm sure glad that I've got a very proactive son and daughter. I have no idea where I would be. You know, I would be $27,000 poorer, I guess.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
There's a lot of concern about the amount of time children are spending on screens, but what about adults? CTV's Matt Gilmore looks at a new public health survey that suggests adults should be limiting their screen time too.
A growing number of adults in Montreal are spending more and more of their personal time on screens.
Maybe 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day.
Probably 2.5 hours on the week and 3 on the weekends.
At least 2 or 3 hours.
According to Montreal Public Health, in 2018, most Montrealers spent less than 2 hours a day on screens. 39% spent 2 to 4 hours, and just 16% 4 hours plus. Fast forward to 2025, and the picture is a little different. 45% now spend 2 to 4 hours, and nearly 23% are on their screens more than 4 hours per day.
When we hit the level of 4 hours and more, this is where we are more concerned because it's considered to be an intense use of screen.
Sylvia Carouse is a gambling and addiction expert at Concordia University. She helped conduct the public health survey and says mostly people are happy with their screen usage, with the exception of one age group.
That level of satisfaction decreases in a significant way by the 18 to 34.
Montrealers we spoke to almost unanimously said they're hoping to reduce their screen time in 2026.
It takes me away from doing other things that I need to do. Could be less, but most of the things are now happening through those devices, hence it's becoming more and more complicated.
I think we're just addicted to our phones, honestly. Like everyone says, oh, we're not, but I think we really are.
Carew says it's a good idea to keep track of your screen time and to ask yourself whether you're in full control.
When the number is shocking for us and we're not realizing that, we have to really question to which extent this is taken from time that should be dedicated to other things that were healthy in people's life, like exercising, going out, socializing, connecting with people.
She says she hopes the study will start a conversation about regulating social media algorithms to make them less addictive. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
There are efforts to attach more Ontarians to primary care, and the plan is being hailed as a win for Northern Ontario. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
More primary care is on its way to Northern Ontario. A recent provincial announcement outlined $8 million to be spread across 16 sites to create teaching clinics. In the north, Nauseam University will bring these clinics to Thunder Bay, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, and North Bay.
The primary care teaching clinic will include medical students, especially in third and fourth year, but also probably even more so in terms of the length of time they're in each clinic, the family medicine residents. So the folks that have already finished medical school who are training to become family medicine specialists.
The Ontario government claims that 300,000 people will be attached to primary care because of these clinics. In the north, there's hope that the added time in each city causes these medical students to want to stick around.
Throughout the country, there has been research on this. Folks who live and study in a place tend to stay there if they have no other attachment to some other place, or if they're, otherwise open to where they're going to go. We've seen that with the retention numbers of Nauseam students at Sudbury and Thunder Bay. It is significantly higher than the retention numbers elsewhere.
Though medical students do work at hospitals throughout the north, this will be the first teaching clinic, according to officials with Nauseam U.
Being able to grow infrastructure in each of these different communities allows us to start to think more about really where are our hubs and where are we able to have our learners spend more time with the same level of supports for teaching and the same kind of facilities that they would have if they were in a larger center.
Dr. Green expects to have the planning grant in place by March, but says it could be anywhere from 18 months to 3 years before the clinics are operational. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
It's quite an honor. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. We'll introduce you to Canada's favorite crossing guard. The winner comes from Toronto.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
When the temperature dips to dangerous levels or the snow is blowing, they're out there helping kids stay safe on school days. Crossing guards are fixtures in the community, and one in Toronto has been honored as one of Canada's favorites. CTV's Sean Leathong caught up with him at his crosswalk today.
His place is at Bedford Road and Lowther Avenue in downtown Toronto, steps from two public schools It's where crossing guard Kevin Enriquez proudly navigates safety with charm.
Hello, no problem. Cool glasses.
Combining duty and charisma, and for that, he's been named one of Canada's favorite.
This work is great, and I always love bringing safety and security to kids.
Helping kids to and from school, Enriquez explains that he tries to connect with those he's helping, even as duty calls.
I like the connection. Sorry, pardon me.
He says no matter what kind of day it is or what kind of connection they want, Enriquez is willing to meet them where they are, or as he says.
So, like, the connection is always different, but like, that I respect either way if people are just need to get from point A to point B, right?
Having only been a crossing guard for a year, Enriquez has made such an impression that parents from both Huron Public School and Jesse Ketchum Public School nominated him for Canada's favorite crossing guard.
My kids always are excited to see him in the mornings. Even if it's a rainy day, he'll go out of his way to kind of make you smile like a rainbow in the rain.
Of the 126 crossing guards nominated, Enriquez is one of only 3 winners from across Canada and the only one in Ontario.
But for those kids, he's a leader. He's teaching them how to navigate those crossings safely every single day.
Canada's favorite crossing guard has been awarded since 2005 by charity Parachute, highlighting those who keep kids safe with a smile.
When kids are happy crossing the streets, it kind of like starts their day off in schools as well. Kind of like it's like a domino effect.
So on one of the coldest days of the year, Kevin Enriquez will try to spread a little warmth.
I really want to get them like kind of like being noticed and like not feel left out. I'm well, how are you?
Helping to keep a community safe and connected. Sean Lee Thong, CTV News.
2 dogs were caught out on the ice in the Detroit River recently, and fire crews had to call in a little extra help to rescue them. CTV's Sanjay Maru has that story.
After photos circulated on social media showing 2 dogs stranded on a patch of ice in the Detroit River, emergency services responded. LaSalle Fire could see the animals, but getting to them was more of a challenge. So emergency crews turned to a reliable source for help.
We have a close relationship with LaSalle Fire. We've worked with them many times over 45 plus years. So if they need something, they can always call us.
Jude Mead of J&J Marine says the fire department was in need of backup. He was in possession of an airboat capable of better traversing through heavy ice, allowing LaSalle Fire to reach the dogs quicker. Together, they were able to travel a few kilometers north to get to the animals.
They were just a little scared because they don't know any of us. So then eventually they kind of warm up to the idea and they want to get off the ice and they come in.
The dogs were pulled into Mead's airboat, and once on land, the 2 cold canines were brought to the Lakeshore Dog Pound, where officials are hoping their owner will pick them up.
They were reviewed by a vet over the weekend before they got to the Lakeshore Dog Pound, so a clean bill of health. I just got back from the dog pound. The dogs seem to be in good health, good shape for what they went through over the weekend.
It's not clear how the dogs ended up stranded on the ice. As for Mead, he says he's no hero and just wants people to know he was there to help fire officials however he could.
They were the ones that received the call. They're the ones that located the dogs. They're the ones that pretty much told us where the dogs were. So we just jumped in the airboat and went out there and assisted them.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
A historic building on Manitoulin Island, the Mindamoya Old School, has received $750,000 from an anonymous donor. The money is said to be a tribute to Joanne Smith, who is remembered as being generous, a talented pianist, and devoted to the arts. Smith also created a clothing line with her sister.
Joanne was at a sing-along, was leading a sing-along on the day that she passed away, and I really like to think that she passed away doing what she loved to do, which was music. She was a brilliant musician and a brilliant teacher as well. Everybody loved her.
In 2017 and 18, Smith was a driving force in the creation of Friends of the Mindamoya Old School to save the 1922 building from being demolished. The group is now recognized as a not-for-profit under the Ontario Historical Society.
It's because of Joanne that we're going to be able to finish the job. And we've been working on it since, as I said, since 2021. We've been incorporated. And we've been fundraising and making plans, and now we have tender-ready drawings.
McQuay says that the old school is one step closer to getting the renovations it needs. The building will eventually become a community hub for artisans and a senior center. The Gloves were off in Florida last night for a rare on-ice spectacle, an old-fashioned goalie throwdown.
And here comes Bobrovsky all the way down the ice. And Bobrovsky's got the gloves up, and he's going after the Documents. We've got a goalie fight.
After a scrum behind San Jose's net, the Panthers goalie charged the length of the ice to square up with the Sharks netminder. It was the league's first goalie fight since 2020. Each goalkeeper received a 5-minute major penalty, plus an additional 2 minutes for leaving the crease, and a standing ovation from the crowd. Well, let's hope there are no goalie fights tonight in the NOJHL as the Paws and Voodoos take on the Timmins Rock at the MAC. Game time is 7 p.m. Prince Harry has wrapped up a second day in court in a high-profile case against the publisher of the Daily Mail tabloid. Lawyers for Prince Harry told the court the Duke of Sussex suffered a sustained campaign of attacks for his decision to stand up to the newspaper over intrusions into his private life. Prince Harry and 6 others, including singer Elton John, are suing the publisher, Associated Newspapers, for violations of their privacy. Prince Harry is expected to take the stand Thursday.
Entertainment brought to you by the Cinefest Red Carpet Patron Program.
A pair of documentaries are set to be released, and David Daniel takes us where no sponge has gone before in tonight's Hollywood Report.
Billy worked with Aretha Franklin, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, all the greats.
You're in the group. It's great. I like the fifth Beatle.
One of the greatest keyboard players of all time is profiled in Billy Preston, That's the Way God Planned It. The film traces the triumphs and troubles of the Grammy winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. It's in theaters February 20th.
When I was 5 years old, I started my chess training.
This 12-year-old girl with the open ponytail, and she is just dominating.
A real-life Queen's Gambit plays out in Queen of Chess. The documentary looks at Judith Polgar, a Hungarian prodigy who fought the sport's patriarchy, became the first woman to defeat the legendary Garry Kasparov, and is regarded as the best female player ever. Queen of Chess debuts February 6th on Netflix.
I'm taking you to the underworld.
Bikini Bottom's most famous figure heads to home video. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants finds the Flying Dutchman taking the title character where no sponge has gone before. The adventure lands on digital platforms Tuesday with more than 20 minutes of bonus content. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Sudbury-based Magnum Mining has released its fourth quarter results for McCreedy West Mine. Nearly 85,000 tons of ore were extracted in the fourth quarter, an increase of 13% from the third quarter. 15.5 grams per ton of silver were pulled from the ore, along with amounts of copper, nickel, gold, and other precious metals. Magna says it's in line with its forecast for underground development in Q4, adding almost 1,700 feet. Jeff Huffman, Magna's chief operating officer, says development crews are now fully staffed and contractors are no longer needed for underground development. The company is expected to release a life of mine plan in the coming weeks. The North American stock market sank as world leaders met in Switzerland under the dark cloud of threats made by the U.S. president. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez reports.
The American markets were closed on Monday, so this is the first chance investors have had to respond to the rhetoric. And clearly, they were shaken, continuing to sell America, sending the market nosediving. Both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq dropped over 2%. And the threat to Greenland sent spot gold to a new record high, above $4,700 an ounce. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to $72.29. West Texas Intermediate up over $1 to $60.36. Western Canadian Select unchanged at $45.16. And the TSX lost 340 points to slip back under 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $10.46, closing the day at $47.73.95 US an ounce. Silver up 20 cents to end the day at $94.77. Copper down a penny to $5.88, and nickel down 14 cents, ending the day at $7.97 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
Warming up, Tony. Low pressure system in northeastern Ontario. Let's check out some of the temperatures and conditions. 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. Greater Sudbury -7, -11 chance of flurries in Timmins. Sault Ste. Marie chance of flurries -8. Meanwhile, in North Bay, we've got 2 to 4 centimeters of snow during the day and at night -6. 10 centimeters, Parry Sound -4 tomorrow. Lots of snow this evening. And Temiskaming Shores 5 to 10 centimeters, -8. So it will warm up, Tony, but we will also get snow across the Northeast. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. And finally, a Manitoba livestock auctioneer is making a bid to become a world champion.
Pounds, here we go. All right, let's have a sale. How much here?
36-year-old Brennan Jack is usually selling cattle, but this June at the World Livestock Auctioneer Championships in South Dakota, he'll be selling himself. The Verdun native has been going once, going twice. In fact, this will be his 11th consecutive trip to the competition. A regular top 10 finisher, Jack hopes this is the year he claims the world title. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.